Alright, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ithian Rambles. Actually, just kidding, y'all. For those of you that couldn't make it, I'm horribly curious about this, so, Ithian, on with the show.
Alright. Well, I mean, the thing that I was going to give you guys before tonight's session, because the date is Monday, not Friday.
My clock is showing, by the way.
Okay. Well, the date is the exact clock that Tama is showing. And yes, I'm calling Gray Tama.
I'm fine with it.
Um, yeah, either way, this is going to be the update of what the other group has done from session 0 or session 1. Session 0 was them getting together, albeit a little awkward with one of them trying to befriend literally everything, including the hooded figure in the corner of a shop to the point where he left.
Nice.
Yep.
So they just want to be
Um,
everything's friend. Unlike us, who have basically
and
told everyone to fuck off.
yeah, it's basically if you're not his friend, he puts you on puts him on his enemy list.
Okay.
It's an interesting little character mechanic, but eventually everyone got together. The first quest they went into, similar to what you guys did, was to go take care of the goblins who had kidnapped the little girl.
Okay. I don't feel like I was there for that quest.
No, you weren't.
Okay.
Because the first quest was you guys dealing with the little girl issue. They went, spoke with mom, got some information, figured out it was goblins, went into the forest, killed some goblins, struggled, and ended up having help from a wolf that randomly came in and helped them. And the player that wants to befriend everything, his name is Reddick. He was the one who said, "Yes, look, guys, this is the friend that I called because I was raised by wolves," and just tells his life story to everyone.
Nice. As you do,
Yeah.
I guess.
The other party members at that point were Terry, the cleric slash soldier of darkness, Fire, a soldier of darkness.
Hang on, cleric slash soldier of darkness?
Huh?
Cleric slash soldier of darkness?
Yes.
Nice.
They multiclassed. It's interesting.
Okay.
Get off our barbarian. And Reddick is our druid.
Okay.
But yeah, they struggled a little bit with dealing with goblins, but came out all alive. One of them did go down a little bit, but they had. Oh no, she didn't have a healing at the time, so no one was able to be healed up. They did struggle a little bit, but got through. Killed all the goblins and wargs, mainly because of the big wolf that helped them, and then brought the kid back home, where Reddick proceeded to try and befriend both of the children. Before Quest 2 happened, they picked up another friend, Taserface, who was another barbarian.
Taserface. Okay.
You gotta love these names.
Oh yeah, no, your group's names are like our group is weird names, yes, but their names.
Oh yeah, just as a note, his full name is Get Off Me On.
I kind of felt like that's where that was going.
It was exactly where it was going, and then we have Taserface the Dragonborn, who has family issues.
Please tell me he's a lightning dragonborn.
Yes.
Good. I was saying if he's not with that name, I'm gonna be real sad.
I don't remember the exact color, but all I remember is the exact way of how they got him into the party, which was he was pissing in an alleyway, so Get Off decided to piss on him. Because they thought that was what you were supposed to do.
Okay.
And you thought your group was weird.
Yeah. No, so far Tiamat seems rather tame thus far. I'm liking this.
So they went to go with the escort. Taserface tried flirting with Jackby's sister, who drove the cart. That didn't work out that well.
I think I came in right at the
The end of the escort quest,
yeah,
I believe.
The end of it, yeah.
Yeah. In the end, they finished the escort quest with little issues. None of them were basically. I mean, I think at most, the only one that had a problem in that town was Reddick
Nice.
because of magic stuff. But other than that, they ended up leaving, escorting back. They slaughtered all of the goblins and anything else. They also took the boar.
Oh, they did take the board. Okay.
Yeah, Getoff kept on attempting to cook the boar, but always just saying it. And they eventually became the Midnight Circus as their group name because Terry, who was the cleric soldier of darkness, also decided to keep on face painting them so that they looked terrifying.
Okay. Guess they're not winning
Because
much charisma
most of the
checks.
time, like at one point she turned fire into a pretty lady. They gave clown makeup to the other ones. It's insane.
Yeah, that sounds a bit weird.
Yeah. They eventually figured out that the scale belonged to the dragon. They dealt, and then they decided to prepare. And I believe it was during the while they were kind of sort of preparing for it, the orc attack on the city happened. They went to go deal with it. And chaos ensued with Terry, who was a half-orc, running out of a front gate being, "Don't shoot! We're friends, right?" And just 5 javelins go straight into her and she's unconscious.
Nice. Well, again, that's why you don't try and charisma your way through campaigns, kids. It doesn't go well usually.
She does not have a high charisma. Well, her character does not have a high charisma. But Terry
her
went
as a
down.
person just doesn't have a high charisma. Like, damn it, dude.
She herself is a quiet person, but she is super easy to convince with things. That's kind of like the character flaw she's decided for her character.
Nice.
Yeah. So later on, I mean, they were starting to struggle with dealing with the orcs. T came by, helped them out. So it was only after the orc attack that they got the dragon stuff and all that information. And like, yeah, the forest is cold. There's a reason. Oh yeah, they failed. One of them failed in trying to figure out that the scale belonged to a dragon, and they just kept on believing it was a giant snowball. And they were making it very believable that it was a terrifying snowball.
Yeah, it's like I want to ask more, but at the same time, my brain goes, maybe you should just stop while you're ahead on that one.
It was in that one, and it was Getoff that got that, and Getoff was like a high elf was the high elf barbarian that came from said forest.
Nice.
Yup. Either way, so they finally got information. Yes, it's a young white dragon. They got set up for preparations. They didn't bother prepping all that much. They took the group with Dawn.
Their choice.
And Bear. Yeah, they decided to take that group instead of taking the dwarves. Okay. The Fury of a Small.
I don't remember why we chose that. If we chose that.
No, you guys didn't choose that. That was the original group that was going to fight the dragon. And then they decided to go take Dawn, so the Fury of a Smell switched over to helping out with the camp.
Fair enough.
In between then and going over to fight the dragon, they tried to con T out of his soul weapon, in which he promptly fucked off.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. That's just what ended up happening.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Wouldn't they have conned themselves since they couldn't have controlled it?
I mean, they wouldn't be able to actually use it, to be honest.
That's what I mean. Like, they would have given him something for it, and then, like, he just left, and then later it reappears with him.
I mean, he could have done that, but he was just not having any of her BS.
Fair enough.
And unfortunately, it was during a time where Fire, who was a little bit more into the story, and the other Soldier of Darkness, was also unconscious.
Nice.
Because using abilities. And this was before we had the fix. But
Which,
yeah.
by the way, for everyone out there, you're welcome for that fix.
It was a needed fix.
It very much was a
Cause
needed
dear
fix.
God. So they did go out to fight the dragon. They ambushed it, caused the dragon to actually back off and try to flee, which prompted both of our barbarians to make a grapple check as a reaction to grab onto the dragon, and then Don promptly threw bear at the dragon.
Okay.
Which was
As
not
I
a
was
good idea
saying
because it's a
previously,
barbarian throwing a wizard at a dragon.
yeah, as I was saying previously, Tiamat seems rather tame in comparison thus far.
They killed the dragon and made it fall out of the sky. They had no troubles. They didn't even bother talking to it. They just murked it.
Nemo, we were planning on blowing it up. We did blow it up. I
Yeah,
guess I shouldn't say plan on. We
you
did.
guys did blow up your dragon. These guys didn't bother bringing gunpowder. They just brought themselves.
Okay. So far they're very go in and do, whereas we're very like strategic and planning. I'm liking this very stark difference.
Yep. So they won. They ended up finding the secret area with a massive ice golem and ice statues.
Okay, so just like we did, but we didn't know what the hell it was. So
Yeah. One of them figured out that one of them they did go further and figure out that like because the soldier of darkness fire that was in their group was from the kingdom that was there, and he knew exactly what that place was and got the sense that the ice golem used to be a protector for the place but is still in slumbering.
okay.
They also ended up getting they did take very little loot. And they completely forewent the orc fight. They didn't bother fighting any of the orcs. They just
So
went back.
they didn't go back to help.
Nope, they didn't go back to help. They instead went and also hello Ricky. We are doing recap from the other group right now. But yeah, they went back to the city and just waited for everyone to come back, which they did come back. And then there was a celebration that was thrown, their reward and all that stuff. They went and did a bunch of events. I can't remember what specifics happened. Terry was the one who went after the guy with the that was sneaking around and decided to say like, "Hey, come over here."
Oh,
And he took
so it
you.
wasn't their timid ass cleric that decided to intimidate the sneaking.
No, it was Terry who saw it, and then Reddick went after it.
Nice.
And Reddick's like, "Oh," Reddick, of course, loud and blatantly, it's like, "Oh, friend, hi." He still doesn't know the character's name.
Nice.
He keeps on calling him Brian, but it's not Brian.
At least it's not Jake.
That's true. If it was Jake, that'd be another problem. But they did end up getting a scroll, and then proceeded to do nothing with it.
Oh, they didn't even interpret it?
Terry and Fire were able to read it, but they didn't.
Wow. Okay.
They didn't really do anything with it afterwards. And from there, they just decided to immediately get themselves onto Captain's ship, and two of them kept on trying to persuade the captain to let them drive the ship.
Okay, nothing horrible with that. Everyone wants to drive a ship some point in time in their life.
Yep, and she adamantly says no. Every time.
Yeah, but that's not nearly as weird as trying to con tea out of a soul weapon.
Yeah. There's also that. They didn't really do much interacting with the crewmates. They instead kind of just like occasionally talked a little bit. One of them decided to explore the ship further than they were supposed to, and basically got busted immediately.
Nice.
Yeah.
They
So
didn't try to
they
fish up
ended up in
Harpies?
Malarn very quickly. So within Malarn, they started out with going to Bloodwing Tavern. Chairs ensue.
Okay.
And they met with Xander, talked with him a little bit, saw him leave, and then upon leaving, he was assaulted, just like in a regular story. They kicked the shit out of every single one of the thugs and killed them all. And one of them did end up burning a building in the process. And then they had to deal with a secondary attack, which they also ended up killing almost all of them, but remembered to not kill all of them. So they
Did
were
they get
able
to
to
have a
get
hostage
information
vote?
out of one of them.
Ithian,
Yeah.
did they get a hostage boat or no?
No, they did not get a hostage. They didn't even bring the hostage back to the boat. They just beat the shit out of him, made him wake up, piss his pants, and then get them to tell him where their base is.
Oh wow, so they didn't even have like reinforcement.
Yep.
Okay.
They immediately went to the base, by the way, asked to speak with Jester. And then Taserface decided that was the best idea, to take their hostage that they have, whip it at another thug, and start combat. They almost nuked Jester in one round.
Wow, that's
Which
impressive.
he then proceeded to Misty Step out of there, convince Terry to help them, as all the thugs were now fighting against them. Terry uses her spell command to get off, to leave. Like, run away. And he fails to save, so he runs away. Which leaves Terry, Reddick, Taserface ran. So it was Terry, Reddick, and Fire. All three of those basically were knocked unconscious.
Very nice.
Yep. And the next session that they had after that one was when we had another person join the group, which was Celeste, who was at the thug base getting soup for her food for the day. As all the thugs were kind of just recovering, they woke up in the underground. They learned that Jester's doing this to basically guarantee safety for her quote-unquote family. And they apologized. They realized that because they've killed a lot of thugs, and the thugs were in tears of relatives being dead. Basically, it was a mess. And then they decided, because they knew Allie was wrong name. Xander was nearby. Even though I'm doing it, frick.
Yep.
When they knew Xander was nearby.
You start calling him Great Value Alley, we got problems.
But they knew Xander was nearby. Fire went to warn him while the others were going to go grab him and basically throw him at Jester. But instead they came to an agreement to explain that the character Wilkinson is a dangerous person and stay away from him, because dear God, he is a terrifying person.
Okay. Meanwhile, we just have Sabat that basically walks in and says, "Fuck you," to their leader. It's a very stark contrast in that event.
Yep. So they ended up deciding, you know what? Let's agree with this guy. And now Xander has to deal with relocating thugs and Jester.
Relocating them?
Yep. Relocating them.
Okay.
Because with it where they are, that would mean they are in terrible danger, because Wilkinson can come in if they don't complete the thing that they wanted that he told them to do. He's pretty sure that he would just nuke them.
Is that where their last session was?
No.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty close to where you guys are. From learning what Xander had told about them, they also learned about the abandoned facility. That was where they all went. There, they found a dead soul weapon.
An area that we did not go to.
Yeah, you guys didn't remotely go near it. They went to quickly investigate the abandoned thing because their main focus had been shifted from whatever the fudge they want to do to we need to figure out about this Wilkinson guy and stop him. So they keep on asking about that, and their next location of where they would like to go is the City of Magic to try and figure out more about Wilkinson, since powerful mages is not common for Milarn. And then since the ship wasn't ready, they tried to make it go faster, but that's not going to do much. So they ended up going into the sewers to try and deal with the lizard folk. Taserface was able to read the graffiti, and learn that it was for peace, and tells the group jokingly that they mean war.
Oh god.
Yup. It's interesting, their group, but yeah, no, they do eventually get to the lizard folk. At this point, the person who plays Get Off, has switched over to Shield, who is a warforged that is very hard to hit. Made by a gnome named Parsley.
Okay. Yeah, dwarf named Carrots.
But they go down in the sewers, eventually find the lizard folk, try and talk peace with them, and then also ask where Parsley went, because Parsley went down in the sewers and they couldn't find him. So they went to go look for Parsley in the sewers with some lizard folk for helping. They were attacked by Sahuagin. They killed the fish people. Eventually found a little sewer pipe where they were able to get back up onto the surface, where there were dead fish people, and they found Parsley. And then they went over to the coast, where there were a shit ton. They just walked straight up. There were a lot of Sahuagin there, and they weren't ambushed, but they were attacked. Reddick almost went down. He had to turn into a bear and run, while the rest of them just raged and fought. Shield wasn't worried about him because literally the only way I could hit him was with nat 20s. I was getting a lot of nat 20s on him, by the way. It was kind of terrifying.
That's impressive.
They did all eventually run. That was when Celeste learned her new tactic of just using Earth Strike to kill everything, while also screaming, "I don't want to die," because she now knows that Soldiers of Darkness can die.
Mm-hmm.
And she's freaking out. They eventually run. They tell the guards. Shield literally repeats literally everything that happened, and then gives them a battle plan. And then they all have a battle plan. They don't have as many Sahuagin to deal with because they ended up killing like 18 Sahuagin while they were there.
It's impressive, actually.
It's very impressive that they killed that many before they started running. There was just a lot of death. But yeah, no, they decided to set up, and then they went into war. They ended up taking Captain and Knight for the siege. And they were successful in taking them out. Knight and Captain both almost went down because they were... You know how you guys were very close to the barricades?
No, but I'm sure someone else will be. Sure.
Okay.
I wasn't
So
there
you
for
guys,
these ones, unfortunately.
you're fine. You guys were fighting closer to the barricades and using them as like partial cover and like only partially and only like halfway going out. These guys booked it like all the way to where they were coming out from and like given so many chances of attacks and such. The only hilarious moment that happened there was the Sahuagin failed a perception check so badly they ran through an area of thorns where he literally killed himself trying to run through the area.
Nice.
But yeah, once that was done, they were able to calm down. And the last thing I remember they were given was Parsley told them to help Xander with his Percy told Shield to stick with this group because it's piqued his interest with them seeing about Soldiers of Darkness and all that stuff, and also has recently told them to go help Xander with. I think they only just got to ask to have him personally tell them to help Xander with going into the Barrens.
Nice. Is that the end of where they're at?
Yeah, I kind of skipped over some of the shenanigans about Taserface walking up to a random NPC saying, "I want to hit this NPC with my axe."
Okay.
Yeah, one of them's a little bit bloodthirsty, and the other one just wants to befriend everything. So, like, I have very polar opposites in the campaign.
Yeah,
They're not story heavy, as you can tell. They're not story heavy. Oh yeah, I should probably mention. They have a boar. They have 2 bear cubs. They have a wolf pup. They have a small wolf dog, and they have a fish.
Hey, we have a telekinetic dragon. I think we win.
They have a lot, but yeah, that's the recap of the Midnight Circus with the Legacy of Darkness campaign. It's just more of the story is kind of a background for them instead of a foreground.
Okay, guys, so that's going to wrap up this recording of the Midnight Circus's Year 1 and recap. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Later.